My apologies. I thought this was still rolling, so I didn't catch it on my phone when I had cut this off. So, can we call it camera magic? Fender is off, or inner fender. It brought to my attention that maybe if we set this back up here, like so. That's what I'm looking for. Recreate it. Created. Created. There you go. That's what it did. Now you can, especially you. No, you don't have to yell at me no more. I created it and uncreated it. Recreated it? Yeah. Okay, you can continue yelling at me now. So that's twice that's happened to me now, where that stopped rolling. I was unaware, and my phone evidently has a 30-minute timer. Well, probably more like 28 minutes. And then it stops doing the job for me. So I didn't catch that either. So hopefully what's left on this SD card, okay, I've had problems with the computer. Okay, the computer doesn't want to accept it. I don't want to accept the computer. It doesn't like doing things with cameras and phones and editing and, trying to get it all to merge. The things that they're supposed to do. Okay, the things I would like it to do, evidently. Anyhow, needless to say, that laptop is, well, as much as I wanted to smash it in front of the camera, and my wife is really particular on me recycling that thing. So I did. I recycled it, bought a new laptop. And maybe you can start doing, the things that you that you'll be able to see stuff. I'm as sad as you are that it didn't catch everything that I had done, because I kind of forgot where I was going, which is part of the reason why I started recording this stuff to begin with. But I did buy some steel. I found that these are right in there pretty good. I can just, weld that in place, bolt the cross member back up where it's supposed to be. These were about $126. About 12 foot of it. Probably only going to use 6 of it if I'm being honest. But at least I'll have leftovers. Yes, they are shooting by the house here. There's a, where you go down, sight in your gun and you shoot targets down the way. They're doing that behind the house here. But where do we go from here? Well, my thinking was I could jack up the back of the car. I don't have to get it level. Just get it closer to where the bubble actually moves in the level. And then I can kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Manage that. No, that's not the right word. Make it do things like this, where the hood ain't up like that, or it ain't down like that. I can get it kind of, parallel to the car. Parallel, that's the word I was looking for. The only problem I see with that is I got a jack stand in 3 different places. So I'm sure none of them will fall over. Absolutely none of them. And the other reason why I want to get the rear end jacked up is I'm not sure if you can tell from this angle, but the engine is not square to the car at all. This here needs to move to about here to be somewhat parallel to the car. I'll see about recording that a little bit, and with the, oh, don't look at my password, especially you. But it does look a little not straight. I mean, I'm standing in front of the engine directly. It doesn't appear that the firewall is parallel to the engine bay, or to the engine. And it doesn't look so bad back here. But nonetheless, I can tell it's twisted just by this engine mount right here. See, that's not supposed to have this gap on this side. It's supposed to be kind of flat. So my guess is the transmission mount is also twisted. I did look underneath. The bracket isn't twisted itself, but the mount is. So I would like to jack up the rear end, crawl underneath, loosen that up, see if I can't get this to twist back out to where it was supposed to be originally. Or at least close. It don't have to be perfect, but close. In which, by the way, we didn't go over everything that needs to be done with this car. This is just one part of our problem. The other part of the problem, besides the engine not running at the moment, is there's only 2 bolts holding that whole housing of the rear end underneath the chassis. So, though I did sacrifice myself by racing it last year, I don't think I should do that this year. So, I got a whole new chassis off the other car. Well, not new, a rusted chassis off the other car that I can bolt up in here, and then all the bolts for the rear end will line up and with the suspension and everything. I should double check that because they may not line up with the bottom. Oh, and last week I did mention that this was an 80, well not last week, a couple weeks ago, that I mentioned this was a 73 Celica. It is not, it is an 83 Celica. Not sure why I misspoke. I don't have a 73 anything. Anyhow, I will keep my eye on the recording, try to keep that up and going as much as possible. I'm sure that this cord isn't in the way of visiting, viewing anything. Here, I'll just take that down now. I'll reroute that later. So yeah. Look how much brake fluid we've collected over the last 2 weeks. Not too shabby. Probably reusable. Not at all. Not at all reusable. But I'm glad it's not all over the concrete. I can probably reach that bolt down here now on this guy. Probably not. No. It's just something I'm going to have to, you know, cut myself on, or maybe I should just cut it off so I don't cut myself on it. There are things we're going to have to do having this tube come out here. I think we're going to have to mount something up here and go down yonder to just kind of keep it braced a little bit better. Not sure what we're going to do there yet. Might involve rewiring this area, or rerouting anyways. Yeah, so let's yeah. I'm not sure if I caught this. This here was the sway bar linkage. That's what I was saying. It's supposed to be straight up and down. It is not. Save those for something. Interesting bolt though. Give it that. I wonder if I should just get a different bucket for rubber stuff instead of bolts. Let's do that. Let's get a different canister for that. There. Now we have more things to drop on the ground. I'm sure this came off of something somewhat important. What the heck is that noise? Is that a baby pterodactyl or something? Don't think I'll be using these anymore. And maybe I could put it in there as a cushion. Nope, not doing it. Before I walked off too far, I wanted to show you the spider friend we got there. Look at him. Yeah. He might be dead. He's in 2 pieces. Never mind. He just looks bigger than he is because he's in 2 pieces. So yeah, back to jacking the rear end up. What do you think? Should I get a 4-foot level and check that? There's one somewhere. Found it. I don't even live in the house. I'm not sure what it was doing in there. It's not like I do construction in there or anything. Cool. It's close. Horseshoes and hand grenades, right? Here it is. That's what they're trying to go with. Sizes. Things made noises. I will definitely forget that's there. I'll look for it for an hour. Let's see how that works. Ooh, that's a lot. Still needs to come down quite a bit. Let's do you come up, so bonus. I think it's time to get a tape measure. Kind of go a little bit more than what I need, cut it off. So I ain't got to deal with a bunch of weight out there. I think I got a house jack I can use to kind of fine tune it. Yeah. Well, I guess that depends on that part. At level doesn't touch cross member, but I might need to see if the body itself goes down or if it's level, and then adjust it appropriately. Because this needs to come all the way out here past this point, so I can do a bar go across there, so I have something to bolt here, and then this here will get bolted to the frame itself, the new frame. And then I'll forget where the wiring goes and all that too, so that'll be fun, fantastic, awesome. One of those words. Probably not. It's probably gonna be all of that, so we don't do that. Yeah. My nephew did a hell of a job on this thing as well. Or, appears to be. Comics and stuff. That's cool. That's not. That shows it's burning. That shows it's burning, so we'll probably just make that where it's burning the line, on the bubble on the line on the front side. And that'll be pretty near, darn near, close enough. Close enough. because race car. Another thing I'd like to do for you guys on this is be able to make 4 hours into like a half hour or an hour rather than making a half hour. All right. See about getting a furniture jack. Sorry, not a furniture jack, a house jack. I don't think I have a good way of squaring this, but we're gonna go for it anyways. Well, I guess first things first is try to find a spot and cut it. Oh, geez. That's fine. I don't need that. Not right yet. Does it need to be square? Probably. Is it going to be square? Nope. Get 2 squares on there so they don't line up, you know. It's the best way to do it. Or do 3 that really don't line up. I'm sure most of you know this, but on the combination squares, this little guy pulls out of the back of it and you score your steel with it or your wood or whatever you're cutting or marking. So I'd share that little tidbit with you. For those who don't like wearing earplugs, which is me, I do with these things for sure, because they are annoyingly loud. See, don't need to be square because you just shove the end square side in the hole. It's covered up. I guess I can kind of use this to see if it's square, but like we discussed before, not square. But I can push that out or pull it out and kind of get an idea on what it's supposed to look like and use this surface here as a guiding light, I guess. Are you guys warm? I hope so. I hope everybody's warm and toasty. So yeah, this looks like it needs to be up about yay much. Yep. So that. I suppose I could have used a 2x4 or something. Didn't I? A bit more. There we go, burning the line like we discussed. It's sitting all the way down. Of course, this here's not that bad. Let's double check it going this way, I suppose. Samesies. Okay, we're good. As far as height is concerned. So let's see if we can't drag this out a little bit more. I really don't see anything I can pry against to get that damn thing to go. I mean, I could let it hang off the other engine mount, but is that far off for real? You ask yourself, how am I going to get nuts on the back side of these bolts? I ask myself that same question. My theory is cut a window out, weld the nut in, and then weld the plates back on there. Then I have nuts in there. That's my theory. Other people would probably paint this part. What do you think? Paint it? You know, do that thing where you do hydroglyphs or hieroglyphs or whatever it's called in the comments. We'll go from there. But for now, I think I'm going to leave it the color it is and weld that piece in and then worry about painting it later. My only concern is I have a gap on this back side where this here meets it. That's a really big gap to fit in, which is why I was thinking bringing it in a little bit, but then these don't line up to here to bolt in very well if I do that. I mean, could I make it work? Absolutely, I could probably make it work. Because the only thing really holding this here is the fact that I got these bolts holding the sway bar link in. So, and weld that right next to the fuel line. Not suggested. Am I going to do it? Probably. And then after that, I got to start thinking about hoops and all that to get the tower in here. As if I remember right, the tower kind of sits about here and then goes down. Well, the hoops will. I don't really have the whole tower as discussed. It kind of sits like about yay. I know it goes this way because it don't go this way. And then for this piece, I think I'm just going to weld a piece of flat steel to this and then have a hoop come over. So next time I get hit here, it just folds this over. Yep, that's probably what's going to happen. I guess I can go to the other side and see where this engine mount lands compared to the strut tower. That'll give me an idea for measurement wise. No, it won't. It will not. Still don't look though. I can tell you, this is weird not listening to music while I'm working instead of hearing myself talk. It appears that the first bolt lines up with the center of this guy. Darn near perfect. So that tells me I got to drill these holes. I can go that way quite a bit with that thing. And then from there I can measure over, bolt the sway bar mount in. And then from there I can be able to fabricate something here to make it work. Because I can't keep this here anymore. This is done for. So that'll have to come out. Not sure exactly how to do that yet. I'll probably end up cutting this piece out of here with a sawzall or something of that nature. Kind of follow the body line. Get that cut out of there. If I haven't mentioned it, this is not something I do every day. This is not something I do once in a lifetime. This is, okay, once in a lifetime, because this is the first time, so one time. I don't do this. This isn't my forte. Although I know what the outside of a car looks like, so we'll make it look something similar to that. So stop talking and start welding, is that what you're telling me? Kind of seems like that's what you're telling me, because I can hear somebody yelling. Alright, you guys might be wondering what grit this is. It's all of it. All the grits. 36. I really don't know how I'm going to weld it down here either, because there's a gap at the bottom. It's like Grand Canyon size. Like Grand Canyon size. Not that big. Not that small. Somewhere in between. In itself, but we can do it. Now, you know what they say, charge first, because I haven't used it in a while. There's probably spiders in there or something. I'm sure that's fine. Where did it go? Who hit it for me? Somebody hit something. Oh, never mind. Found it. My guess is I hit it from me. Considering, besides you fine folks, I'm the only one in here. And I trust you didn't take it. Alright. See what I find for plugging it. Let's see what we can find for gauge metal. This is 1/8 inch steel tubing, but we got 22 gauge automobile. And I'm going to need my glasses because, you know, gauge. They're probably almost broken, I feel it. That looks fine. Now you guys will see how terrible of a welder I is. We'll see how what bit put it on. I think I should just need my glasses on so I can see what I'm welding. We'll do that. Watch your eyes. I don't know how to tell you this, but these fog up in there. I can't see nothing. Newsflash, still can't see nothing. Turn that down to 9. Too slow. But it welded. That's good. That one almost looked professional. Let that cool down for a second. So what I'm doing here is what was suggested to me by my nephew, and that was to heat up the thicker stuff and kind of let the smaller metal pull in to it. And it seems to be working. I mean, at least it did in that half inch there. It didn't work so well at the bottom half inch. So I'm going to continue on. Okay, if I'm being honest, there's hot things coming and going down my coat. Will you let me know if I catch on fire, pretty please? I'm drying some of this down, I reckon, so I can put a cap over it. I got some thinner metal that I can use to kind of cap the back side and the front side, so that way there's not such a gap. Then I can weld all the way around it. It's not really I guess it can be a gusset, but it's not a gusset that I'm doing. It's just a filler so I can actually attach it to the rest of the vehicle. Yeah, see how much the body moves? I want to get to where that's not happening, which is why I want to do the filler piece. Sorry, I was looking to see if it's still recording. I want to do the filler piece in there. So it looks to be about 1/8 of an inch on the back side of the gap per gap. Get tape measure. I think 1 inch and 7/8 would be fine. I can just do about 1/8 inch for the back. I would disconnect the fuel line, but that would just be fumes all over the place. So we won't be doing that. I think by doing that, I can weld the rest of the way around it. But at least it's, it's at the right height right now, so that's good. I wonder if just beating it up in the back, I mean, I can't see anything though. I almost wonder if I should just take out the engine. Oh yeah, we talked about that. I'm not doing that. Because I like doing things the hard way. In all honesty, it would have been way easier to take the engine out, set it aside. But as you can tell, I got a lot of space in here. I'm not sure if you can tell that. I'll give you a scan real quick. Whoa, Daisy fell backwards. Wrong one. Don't fall over on me. How many of you had? See, ain't a whole lot of room. I wouldn't be doing myself any favors as far as taking the engine out and then having to walk around the darn thing or making a mess of stuff. Kind of built this garage on a whim. I don't know if I told you that or not. Are you hissing at me? Somebody's hissing at me. Who is it? It's probably nobody. It's in my head. All right, I'm gonna go put you over here. I'll be working over there for a second. I don't think this camera has a zoom. Did it zoom? Nope, it's not zooming. It doesn't do zoom things. But got some thinner steel here this is what I'm going to use for, I kind of turned it too far. Just going to use it for that there, and maybe I'll just cut a piece off right quick. Just jump. And maybe a cutoff wheel. That'll give me an idea. I'll just, you know, make a random piece, and then we'll go back over there and kind of size it up. Yeah. Kind of seems like the right thing to do. I don't know. I guess I'll check out in the video when I do the, you know, the computer, you know, that thing where, you know, you do video stuff. See if I'm blocking a view, and if I am, I'll move it next time. If I am blocking a view, I'm sorry. So yeah, I'll cut this off. Kind of just get a random piece in there. It looks to be about, we'll call it 6 inches. Yeah. Something like that. That way when I go to cut it later, I just, you know, probably hurt myself. I had markers. They're in here somewhere. Oh, I know where they're at. I see them. Stop yelling at me. Especially you. Yeah, you. Okay, I understood. Alright, so we want to cut it about yonder. It's a little too much. It's no big deal. If we do this, you can go here. What I'm doing is using the edges that haven't been cut yet, at least to my knowledge. So do this here. Bam. This here. Go. Bam. So cut that out. So basically I'm just cutting this piece out. That's what I'm really doing. This piece right here. I'll cut this off later because I can put it on there and then scribe it, and then we'll be happy. Well, somebody will be. How do I want to do this? This looks like a good way. Actually, I'd rather do it. Oh, I do have room over there on the vise. Let's do it on the vise. Let's try to do something a little bit on the intelligent side, shall we? I'll just move you over there for a second. Zooming, 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 zooming. Is that zoomed? There. We zoomed. Alright, so get rid of this piece. Yes, I know, it's almost the world's smallest vise, but hey. We're broke. There's nothing wrong with being broke. At least to my knowledge anyways. I wouldn't know what rich felt like. But we're doing with what we're making things happen. Making it work. Making it work is what we're doing. And, you know, regardless how the car turns out, I'm proud of us nonetheless. For even attempting this, you know. Well, let's go see how it fits, shall we? By the way, that's what it looked like. We're not done yet. unzooming. Still unzooming. Oh. All right, let's see. Turn you back the other way. No. Whoa, what are you doing? That's not how it's supposed to go. You know that. There's that better. Presuming it's somewhat right. There we go. Now we got that. Now we can just trace off what we don't need. I know it's multiple cut. Measure twice, cut once. I get it. In this case, mocking up, cutting a bunch of times. Okay, so we know this is the line we want to follow. Up to this point. We got to cut that off. We got to cut that off. We'll be good. Are we zoomed? Let's try that. Are we zoomed now? Do we need to turn a little bit? Boom. Nailed it. I'm guessing there is a portion that is I'm not going to need. But we'll take it over there, describe it, what we need cut off, make sure it fits. And then we'll weld it in. If anything, it's going to be a heck of a lot closer than it would have been. Sure to touch hot metal with your bare hands. Toughen them up. Not true. Not even one bit. Alright, I'll go around and get my pliers and kind of clean it off, the metal off. To, you know, so it's not so rough. Did I get sparks on you? Sorry if I did. All right. That's with the SD card for a while. Realized I was putting it in upside down. The other one got full. It must have been smaller. Add a focus. There's that. Boom, shakalaka. Yep, still recording. That's good. No idea where I left off. Oh yeah, I remember. So there's that. So I guess I could trim a little bit more on just that little guy there. Just so there's not a sharp edge. I'll fix that right now. That turned out. Not too shabby. I can take a little bit more off. Do that before you put it off. Just remember, this is a cutoff wheel, not a grinder. Don't use it like I'm using it. I do not suggest that. Okay. So, get that. Got that in. Tires, why are they always in the way? Put them there. Way better. That's way better. Okay. So yeah. Love that. So remember, when you're doing thinner metal, it heats up faster. It's going to want to warp. So just kind of jump all over the place. I'm being 100% honest. I don't think my welding hood is a welding hood anymore. I think it's just more like a face shield. Never mind the fires. Fires are fine. To be completely honest, that was probably a longer weld than anybody should ever do. Just be tacking, 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 tacking. And what else? Tacking. I can't really get in there with the fuel line. I mean, it doesn't fit. That's what I'm saying. Oh, forgot to brake foot down there. Has anybody seen fire down there yet? I haven't, so we're fine. Remember what I told you about metal warping? Well, it did that. So now I got to push the metal back, that little flimsy piece up against the car so I can weld it in there. And I'm having a hard time getting in a position where I can do both at the same time. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Sticking the whole thing out. I mean, I'm going to have to redo some wiring anyways. And that's going to be fun. I'm not going to do that tonight. Because I want to be able to see once I get to that point. When it gets dark, it gets dark. It really sucks. I mean, I'll get rigidity once I go to the other side of the car. Are you looking at me? It gets rigidity once I go to the other side of the car, and I'll have, stability that way. But I really don't like the fact that it's really that flimsy back there to begin with. So I'll probably end up having to take that off. Some of you might be asking, why didn't I go further out with this? Because it'll line up with that. I actually plan on doing like a sleeve in here and just doing bolts. So that way I can take the bumper on and off, make it easier on myself later on. But I did plan on doing a core support through here anyways. I got some, what looks to be 3/16 inch steel as well that I can run across there, or I can use what I got as well, the 1/8 inch stuff. Probably look nicer, won't it? Probably look nicer. I was just thinking because it's 2x3 rather than 2x4, less weight. Not really when you start adding the thickness in there. Yeah. That didn't sound like I made it. And get it ready for that, transition. Cut this out, get it ready for the transition. Either way, I gotta take that engine out of there. Yeah, that looks like fun. Not that I haven't had it out before, and it's not like I gotta take it off and redo the oil pan anyways. It's dented up. I would be surprised if it's not into the crank right now. I mean, it turns over easy by hand, but I mean, that thing is dented. I'll get you in here. Get back. See how dented that is right there? That is damn dead. From the impact. Sway bar. The sway bar impacted it. So yeah. And I guess with the engine out too, I can also measure back here, between here and the firewall. Or not firewall, but the inner fender. And then that'll help me keep it square. So I'll know what that number needs to be up here. I was really not hoping to do the engine. And the reason why I don't want to take the engine out and just leave it outside, it's wintertime. Wintertime. You know, it does things in wintertime, like snow and rain, so on and so forth. But we'll take her out and, you know, spill oil everywhere, that sort of thing. Still got a hook here I can mount to, a hook here, not mount, but I can get the jack, not the jack, the engine hoist over here. Get it out. Good news is I won't have to lift it so high this time. I can just put a jack underneath it and let it roll on out with me. That's the idea, underneath the tail shaft. So yeah, that'll be next week's project. Let's see, racing in April, 20 something. This is February. The middle of February, I don't remember, it's 17th maybe. So you got March, April, 2 months. It's 4 days. No, that's 8 days. Unless I work another weekend like I did last weekend. Yeah. So yeah, we'll continue on this and next week. Maybe I can get 2 days in next week. Probably not going to happen. Just warning you. It's just going to be 1 day. So that's all the time I get to work on a race car. Is 1 day a week. Just want to say thank you for everybody who's watching, and please like and subscribe. You know, hit that notifications. It would be nice. This will conclude our video for the day. See you all next week.